My best protective hairstyle is twist, but this time around I decided to try something different, that is loose twist, and I really like it because it gives you the flexibility of styling your hair and people think your hair is loose even when it is twisted up. First of all, started with adding beads so as to create some accessories, but I decided to take it out. Back to another natural hair video. In this video we're going to be talking about protective hairstyle. I'm going to be refreshing my loose twist by moisturizing it. First thing I did for this hair is to add water, so I just drench my hair with water beads, which is like the true moisture, and the only thing I'm going to be using to seal in this moisture is my shea butter and castor oil. So all of it are already mixed inside this place. That is what I'm going to be using. So the next video you're going to be seeing from me is how I make my powerful hair growth oil. The hairstyle you have on your hair determines if your hair is going to grow, if it's going to break off. Okay. Protective hairstyle, like the name implies, is protecting. It is something that protects your hair from a lot of things. Protective hairstyle also is tucking in your ends or preventing your hair from just staying out or breaking out. Protective hairstyle protects your hair from breakage, from sun ray, from cold, from just different kind of weathers that may likely damage your hair. So that is what protective hairstyles are. And protective hairstyle are sometimes long term and sometimes short. Like this one I have on is a short term protective hairstyle. It's something you want to carry for a week, 2 weeks, and that is it. Long term protective hairstyle, a hairstyle you can carry for a month and above, and I usually prefer those long term protective hairstyles because they help you grow longer length. Every individual, like we all know, grows half inches of hair length in a month. So if you can discipline yourself to put on protective hairstyle that will last for you about 2 months, it means you have grown 1 inch, and you can go through the process of washing your hair, trimming your hair, combing and detangling, and still have to retain half inch of hair at the end of the day. Any hairstyle that causes your hair to break, that pulls on your edges, or that thins out your hair is not a protective hairstyle. Putting on protective hairstyle, if you go to a salon that do not care about hair growth, or a salon that is interested in just giving you a shiny hairstyle, you are likely to lose length. I believe that any hair can be a protective hairstyle depending on how you manage it, how you install it, who installs it for you, and how the hair pulls on your edges. A braid, knotless braid, twist, any kinds of braid can be a protective hairstyle if, first of all, the person who installed it did not break out your hairs before installing it, or did not trim out your hairs while trying to make the hair shine. If the extension used is not too heavy to pull on your edges. Thirdly, if it is not too long for you to always bump into it, like sit on it mistakenly and pull on your edges or pull on your hairs, then it can be a protective hairstyle if it is properly and well managed. If you make braid and you keep styling it, you will notice that, and you keep styling it, like giving it different look every day, you are on a new kind of look, you will notice that it will start pulling on your edges, and sometimes it is pulling on your ends, and sometimes you lose length when you take it down. Box braid can also be a protective hairstyle if during the takedown you don't manipulate it too much. So protective hairstyles can be divided by what I call low manipulation and high manipulation hairstyles. This low manipulation can be a long term, it can be a short term protective hairstyle. The time it takes you to put in twists like I am doing is different, totally different from the time it will take you to put in tiny braids. The process or the manipulations it's going to take to put in tiny braid or tiny twist is totally different from the manipulation process that is going to take to put in cornrow. Hairstyles that are low manipulative helps prevent breakage because you don't have to go into smaller sections of your hair which are very fragile, may end up breaking your hair. I advise, if you are someone who likes braids, to use lighter attachments, or maybe go for knotless braids with lighter attachments and bigger ends and bigger sections. Another hairstyle that I think is a good protective hairstyle is any hairstyle you do with your natural hair. So adding extensions to hair sometimes can be a lot of stress to that hair, but we don't know it, but we want clean and crispy clean hair. Adding extensions can be a weight on any hair, likely to remove that protective from that hair. But sometimes adding extension can make your hair retain more moisture than just braiding it like this and having to moisturize every week or every month. For hairstyles that are very good to be called protective is relative. Protective hairstyle is personal, or it is relative, like I would say. What is protective to me may not be protective to you, depending on how I want my hair to be. If I have twist on, it may be protective to me because I will handle it with care, put it in bun when I know I can no longer bring it down, and avoid it from rubbing my ends. But to someone else, it might be a breaking point for them because they might wear the hair out often, too often, that the sun is going to start breaking it off. It is not protecting the hair from sun, nothing of such, and that makes it not a protective hairstyle. Instead of looking or asking for which hairstyle is best protecting, just look inward and see the hairstyles that you can manage better, or the hairstyles that prevent your hair from breaking off or prevent your hair from rubbing against surface. Why we always emphasize on the ends of hair is because they are the weakest part of your hair and they are the first to break when it comes to breaking. So ask yourself, what hairstyle can you manage properly? If twist is the hairstyle you can manage properly and prevent your hair from breaking, then I think you should go ahead with just twist. For example, you make box braid, it's going to take you for a longer time. And if you installing box braid, you take it on for 1 week, 2 weeks, and then you are already going to take it down. And then you don't take it down carefully, maybe you just cut out the ends. Before you know, your end is inside there being cut off. You cut out the end and take it down. You haven't grown any length because you grow half inches of hair in 1 year, in 1 month, and then in 2 weeks you have taken down your box braid. After taking down your box braid, you go into wash, comb, and all that. And there is no way you do all these things to your hair without losing length. There is no way you wash your hair, you comb your hair, you detangle your hair, and put in a new hairstyle without losing length. Just do the math. If you comb your hair, wash your hair, and do all these things, and then you lose half inches of hair length at the end of the day, just do the math. You haven't grown any inches and you are losing half. So it means if your hair was 10 inches, you have lost half inches of 10 inches. That is 9.5 inches left. That is what you should consider anytime you want to put in a hairstyle. Have long term, in as much as we have low manipulation. Low manipulation is the hairstyles that are like chunky braids, chunky twists, those hairstyles that doesn't take anything to be installed. Low bun, just those hairstyles that you feel like you don't have to comb your hair in small sections, in smaller sections, and all that. Those are low manipulation. Then high manipulation hairstyles are, like I've said, twists, cornrows, tiny braids, tiny everything. At the end of the day, any hairstyle that prevents breakage for you is what protective hairstyle is. One advice I have for everybody is choose your protective hairstyle yourself. What is protective to another person cannot protect your own. Say you put your hair in twist, and then at the end of the month, try and measure your hair length and see where it is. If you don't have any length from doing that twist, then I think twist is not the protective hairstyle for you. When I see the most growth for my hair is when I have my hair in low manipulative hairstyles like this twist, that I can go in maybe twice a week, or sometimes I don't even moisturize it. I just leave it for a long time. If I have a normal twist on, I don't take it down until the next 1 month. But because I have this loose twist, I notice that it dries out faster. It dries out really fast, but it is easier to take down, moisturize without having to lose much length. So loose twist is not as protecting for me as a proper twist. I'm trying to moisturize my hair, I don't go in to try and detangle my hair again, or try to cause breakage for it, or try to over manipulate it. I just go in, moisturize it, and then put it back in this loose twist because it is not as protecting. It doesn't last as long as a proper twist will last for me. In 2 weeks, I already have dried out twists. But I noticed that having my hair in loose twists gives me the luxury of styling my hair and having my hair look like it is still having my hair look like I'm still wearing it out, when in essence it is protected, or it is not shrinking up on each other. Shrinkage is another form or another way that brings our hair to breakage. if your hair shrinks as much, or you let your hair always shrink, you are going to have lots of breakage, because when your hair shrink, it coils up on each other. So I don't see wash and goes as a proper protective hairstyle, though it can be a protective hairstyle if you can carefully detangle when it comes to detangling. Wash and go causes so much matting of the hair. It causes too much matting. But if you can be careful enough to detangle your wash and go, then it is perfect, because it doesn't have you putting your hair in too much sections and you don't have to do much for it. But I promise you, wash and goes are not protective hairstyle for first time natural or someone who hasn't mastered the act of natural hair. If you want my own advice on what a protective hairstyle should be for you, then I advise you to just do hairstyles that are your hair alone. At the end of the day, your protective hairstyle should help you retain length. Period.